Police Scarlight XRP big warning. Police Scarlight. Something huge may be happening behind the scenes right now. And honestly, the majority of investors still have absolutely no idea what they're looking at. Because while most people are busy watching daily price candles, refreshing charts every 5 minutes, and arguing on social media about where XRP might go next, a completely different story may be developing underneath the surface. A story involving institutional finance, digital infrastructure, global liquidity, regulatory shifts, and the future of how money itself may move around the world. Now, suddenly, XRP communities everywhere are becoming extremely emotional. Crypto influencers are posting nonstop. Whale trackers are being shared everywhere. Financial commentators are debating what happens next. And investors around the world are asking one very important question. What exactly is happening behind the scenes that nobody is talking about? Because historically, the biggest financial changes rarely announce themselves loudly. At first, almost nobody notices. The media barely covers it. Retail investors ignore it. Social media focuses on other stories. And then one day, everyone suddenly realizes a massive shift was happening the entire time. That's exactly why so many XRP supporters feel like something important may be unfolding right now. Now, before we go any further, let's make something extremely important clear immediately, because crypto headlines often become exaggerated very quickly. There is no official confirmation proving XRP is about to replace the global banking system. There's no verified evidence showing institutions secretly bought unlimited XRP. There's no guarantee XRP automatically dominates future finance. And this video is definitely not financial advice. But what we are going to discuss is why institutional conversations are accelerating, why financial infrastructure is changing globally, and why XRP supporters believe Ripple may be positioned around some of the biggest trends shaping the future of finance. Because honestly, once you really begin understanding how global financial systems are evolving, the excitement surrounding XRP suddenly starts making much more sense. Now think carefully about what's happening around the world right now. Artificial intelligence is transforming industries. Governments are creating digital asset frameworks. Banks are modernizing payment systems. Asset managers are exploring tokenization. Financial institutions are researching blockchain infrastructure. And organizations everywhere are preparing for increasingly digital financial ecosystems. That transformation is very real. And the craziest part? Most ordinary investors still don't fully realize how significant this shift could eventually become. Now think carefully about how large financial institutions operate. They rarely make trillion-dollar decisions based on hype. They focus on efficiency, liquidity, compliance, risk management, operational improvements, infrastructure reliability, long-term strategic positioning. Those are the factors that drive institutional decisions. And that's important, because many of the areas institutions care about most happen to be the same areas Ripple spent years focusing on. Cross-border settlement, liquidity movement, financial interoperability, payment modernization, global transaction efficiency. Those are not social media narratives. Those are institutional conversations. And now, the financial world itself appears to be moving increasingly toward those conversations. That's one reason XRP supporters believe something important may be happening behind the scenes. Now let's talk about liquidity, because honestly, liquidity may become one of the most important financial topics of the next decade. Every single day, trillions of dollars move around the world. International trade, corporate settlements, government transactions, foreign exchange operations, cross-border payment networks. The scale is difficult for most people to fully comprehend. And despite all the technological progress we've seen, many systems still contain inefficiencies, settlement delays, operational friction, liquidity fragmentation, cross-border complications. That's exactly why institutions continue researching blockchain infrastructure more aggressively, because improving efficiency at institutional scale can save enormous amounts of money. And in finance, even small improvements become extremely valuable when applied across trillions of dollars. Now think carefully about what happens if financial infrastructure continues becoming increasingly digital. Settlement becomes faster. Liquidity becomes more efficient. Markets become more interconnected. Assets become tokenized. Financial systems become more automated. And cross-border movement becomes increasingly important. Those trends create enormous opportunities for infrastructure providers. And that's exactly why XRP supporters continue paying close attention to Ripple, because Ripple spent years focusing on those exact challenges. Now, let's talk about tokenization, because honestly, many experts believe tokenization could become one of the largest financial transformations in modern history. Imagine stocks becoming digitally tradable around the clock, real estate becoming globally accessible, government bonds operating through digital infrastructure, assets moving more efficiently across borders, financial markets operating continuously, programmable financial systems automating complex transactions. That future sounds futuristic today, but institutions are already preparing for it. Banks are researching it. Governments are studying it. Asset managers are investing in it. Financial organizations are planning for it. And digital infrastructure continues expanding globally. Now think carefully about what happens when enormous amounts of value begin moving through digital ecosystems. Liquidity becomes critical. Settlement efficiency becomes essential. Interoperability becomes incredibly valuable. Infrastructure providers become increasingly important. And organizations positioned around those areas may attract significant attention. That's exactly why XRP supporters believe Ripple's positioning could matter long-term, because Ripple focused specifically on connecting financial systems efficiently. Now here's where things become especially interesting. Many investors focus entirely on price action, but institutions often focus on infrastructure. While retail investors ask, will the price go up tomorrow? Institutions often ask, will this technology still matter 10 years from now? Those are completely different questions. And that's why so many XRP supporters believe the real story isn't happening on price charts. They believe the real story is happening behind the scenes, inside regulatory discussions, inside infrastructure planning, inside financial modernization projects, inside institutional research departments, inside conversations about the future of money itself. Now, let's talk emotionally for a moment, because honestly, this is one reason XRP communities remain so passionate. For years, many holders endured criticism. People said XRP was finished. People claimed Ripple would disappear. People argued institutional adoption would never happen. People dismissed the project's vision. Yet despite all of that, the broader financial world continued moving toward digital infrastructure, toward tokenization, toward modernization, toward blockchain research, toward regulatory development, toward institutional experimentation. That's why many XRP supporters feel emotionally invested in these developments, because they believe the world itself may finally be moving toward the future Ripple spent years preparing for. Now again, balance matters. There's no guarantee XRP automatically dominates future finance. Competition remains intense. Stablecoins continue expanding. Governments may prioritize alternative systems. Private financial networks may evolve. Technology continues changing rapidly. And nobody knows exactly how adoption unfolds. But one thing feels increasingly undeniable. The financial world is changing. Digital infrastructure is expanding. Institutional blockchain adoption is accelerating. Tokenization conversations are exploding globally. And XRP continues remaining connected to discussions surrounding liquidity movement, settlement modernization, and financial interoperability. That's exactly why so many investors suddenly feel like a major story may be developing quietly behind the scenes right now. Because sometimes the most important changes happen long before they become obvious. And by the time everyone notices, the biggest opportunities may already be well underway.